The reason why I did it because I see that a lot of stigma toward people who live with HIV in Indonesia, and there are still a lot of people who is misunderstanding about HIV and about people who live with HIV. So that's why through YouTube channel, I have been trying to, sharing my story, my personal story.
Hi, Acep. So can you please introduce yourself, your age, and where you're calling from today?
Okay, so hi guys, my name is Acep Gates. I was diagnosed HIV since September 2018, and also I'm openly gay and Muslim in Indonesia, and I'm 24 right now, so yeah.
Yeah, and Acep, are you related to Bill Gates?
Yeah, actually, the reason why I put the Gates on my last name because I'm so inspired by Bill Gates, especially for his social projects. So that's why.
So, you're an inspiration for the LGBTQ community, especially those who are Muslim too. And you're also an inspiration to people who are living with HIV. So could you tell us a bit about your experience coming forward as a HIV positive man? And what's your story and why were you inspired to share it on such a wide platform like YouTube?
The first time that I checked my HIV status in March 2018, but the result was negative at the time. So the doctor asked me to go back to the hospital after 6 months. So I went back to the hospital in September 2018, and the result was reactive or positive. So yes, 2 weeks after that, I decided to disclose my HIV status on my channel YouTube. The reason why I did it because I see that a lot of stigma toward people who live with HIV in Indonesia, and there are still a lot of people who is misunderstanding about HIV and about people who live with HIV. So that's why through YouTube channel, I have been trying to sharing my story, my personal story as a person who lives with HIV, trying to reduce the stigma. Like, I'm just always telling the people that if you are getting HIV doesn't mean your life is over. I mean, you can still do anything that you want as long as you taking a treatment. So yeah, because I found a lot of people who always thought that if you are getting HIV positive, that you will not get married, you will not get a better future, you can't reach your dream. And I think it's totally wrong. I mean, the number one thing that we have to do is just like taking a treatment. As long as you are taking treatment, yeah, your life will be a normal.
So selfless of you to you understand that there's so much stigma and you want to be the first person to break it, and I think that's so brave and courageous of you to step out and represent others too who are HIV positive but probably not as brave as you to go out there and share the story and erase the stigma in your society. My question would be, what do you wish everyone knew about living with HIV? And how can we start to erase this stigma for people who aren't aware of what we've been talking about?
So I think we have to keep educating the people, to reduce the misunderstanding, to reduce the stigma. And I wish that everyone that knew that, talking about HIV, especially about transmission, is not that easy as we think. Such as, I'm HIV positive, but I'm taking a treatment. So every 6 months, the doctor will be checking my health, my blood, to check the viral load. If my viral load is undetectable, so it means that your status is untransmittable. I mean, if you're having sex with your partner, even with a condom, it not can be, transmittable. So I think the people must learn more and more about HIV, so yeah.
Yeah, I still think that there's a lack of information about someone's HIV status. And a lot of people seem to think that, if your HIV load is undetectable, then it's still transmittable. But that's not true because, you know, for anyone watching, you can search up U equals U and find out about how HIV works. And I wish more people in society knew about that so that they would be less hesitant to, you know, have HIV positive partners. So what do you think is the best way to educate society? So if not the government, then, you know, the general population about sex and health, and how do you, you know, improve people's safe sex practices?
So I think we have to be trying to be open-minded, you know, open-minded, like we have to stop thinking that talking about sex education is taboo. I mean, let's make the sex education, it's like another lessons, another subjects. And that's why that I'm trying to, you know, to do like giving the information about sex education through my YouTube channel and my Instagram, really personal and really open about it. And I think this is one of the effective way to encourage the people to aware of their sexual health.
It's incredible that you're modeling the way towards a world where we are open about conversations regarding sexual health, because right now your Instagram and your YouTube, you're doing the job of teachers. You're teachers and educators who should be doing this job, yet here you are taking their role in such a selfless way. And I think that's so admirable. So what do you think is the role of digital platforms in spreading information? So with platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram being available, do you think we should rely on the online world as opposed to real life schools?
So I think we have to do both. I mean, we have to maximize on online and also offline, you know, because sometimes not all people could access the internet, such as in a rural area, right? So the people in the rural area, they will be really hard to get the internet. So I think we are all here need to unite to create, you know, the best sex education curriculum for them.
So do you have any word of advice for any young people who are, you know, too scared to get tested? How can we encourage them?
The first thing that we have to do to encourage them to get, you know, sexual health tests, I think we have to be, you know, a good listener. You know, to be a good listener, we have to listen their story first. Then I think after that, it's more easy to encourage them to take a sexual health test or HIV test. So yeah, and just giving them a lot of information, such as positive information. For example, I always say to my followers who contact me on Instagram, like when they worry to take HIV test, so I always told them that better you go to hospital early, because the more early you go there, if you are getting HIV, so you can take a treatment, you can get a healthy life.
You having grown up in Indonesia, is there anything you'd like to say to those in Indonesia or in another conservative area of Southeast Asia about how they can find support, how they can feel uplifted, and how they can learn to be more proud of their identities?
We are living in a modern area. I know sometimes it's not really easy to ask people to accept us, right? So I think the option is maybe the LGBT young people could use could use social media to find people who are the same with them. Like, I mean, making friendship not only with the real people, but they can make a friendship with people on the social media. And I think it's the best way to make them more proud of them, more safe, more not alone, and yeah.